So for today's video, I have decided I wanted to have a closer look at the Naniwa Aotoshi, aka the green brick of joy. And this video is going to be kind of an unboxing, first impressions kind of video. I have never used this stone myself. I have just recently started to import it, and there's a couple of reasons for that. But before we get to that, we got to talk a little bit about grit. So grit is the measurement we usually use to describe how coarse a stone is. Let's say we have a 400 grit stone. That would be a coarse stone. If we have a, say, 3000 grit stone, that would be a finer stone. But it's not quite as simple as that. The measurement grit describes the amount of abrasive particles within a given area of a stone. That's it. And you could say you have a 60 grit sandpaper, that would provide some result. But if I cover it in, say, wax, that would provide a different result. If I use water with it, that's something different still. When it comes to whetstones, that would be the binding material. The material they use to hold on to the abrasive particles. Another thing that it doesn't mention is the size of the abrasive particles. Larger particles would make for a faster stone. Smaller particles would make for a slower stone. You could have a soft stone where the binding materials is quite loose. Or you could have a hard stone which doesn't release as much abrasive particles. Usually you would say up to around 400, 800 would be a coarse stone. From 800 up to 1200 would be a medium stone. And from 3000 and up would be a fine stone, something you would finish on. The Naniwa green brick of joy is something special. It is a soft stone. It is 2000 grit, something you don't see too often. And that makes it kind of interesting. Being soft, it will, in theory, I haven't used it yet, release a lot of abrasive particles, which would make it a fast stone. And Naniwa is one of the manufacturers that are known for using very small abrasive particles. So from a 3000 grit Naniwa stone, you would get a very fine result compared to other manufacturers. Say Sharpening, for instance, which is known for having larger particles, which makes for faster stones. So the interesting thing about this stone is that I believe, or at least I hope, that if it's a fast 2000 grit stone, you could probably use this to start off the sharpening if your knife isn't too bad. And if the abrasive compound of this stone is as fine as Naniwa usually has, you could also use it as a finishing stone. So in theory, this could be the only stone you need, which is something I've decided to try out today. But it's also a soaking stone, so before we get to that, we gotta get it in some water. So before we get it into the water, check out the size of this one. It kind of reminds me of my King 1000, which has been my workhorse for a couple of years now. It's a beast of a stone, and I love it. So this is the green brick of joy. We're going to soak it. Oh, would you look at that? It's not taking on as much water as I thought, but there are bubbles coming out, so we'll just let it sit for a bit and we'll see what happens. Well, it's been a couple of minutes now and it's not taking on as much water as I thought. I've heard that it's a thirsty stone, but I'm not sure. Could be that it'll pick up after a while, but just to show you a comparison, I'll take my King 1000 and I'm hoping you can see the difference in those two. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take my Whetstone holder, try to fit it over there, and take it out of the water with one hand, and we will have a look. It is, I don't know if you can see it, but it is drinking. Ever so slightly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place you here in my rice container. And yeah, we'll try it out. I'm just going to get my knife. So the knife I'll be using is my Makusta. The Makusta's on mine. It's Fire Damascus. It's very nice. It's VG10 though, so it's not the hardest of the steels. I reckon around 60 Rockwell. But yeah. So what I usually would do now is to dull my knife. I'm going to do that, and I would usually go for, you know, start on an 800 or 1000 and work my way up from there. But today I'm going to try and do this on this break alone. See what kind of result we get. Oh, this hurts. Always does. Let's check out that. That's not good at all. Okay, so from now, with a 800 grit vitrified stone from Miyagoshi, it would probably take just 2 or 3 passes to develop a burr. I'm kind of excited about this one, so we'll just. This is my first time on this one, so let's go. I can immediately see it's starting to pick up material. It's getting the iron steel stuck in there. I'm sorry. Kind of feels tacky. It's very, very soft. Feels a lot finer than 2000 grit. Oh, it's a very, very soft stone. You gotta be careful with your push and pulls so you don't gouge it. It is removing a lot of steel. We got a bird up here already. I think I just be a little bit off with my angle, so I will focus. I'll do one more pass and I'll start on the other side. thinking I could have let it soak for a bit more. I would probably done it a few favors. It seems like it's loading up, but I don't think it's that bad at the moment. I'll go 2 more passes. Just do the heel as well. Yeah, we got a burr all the way down. So now 1 pass on the other side. This is crazy. You can see my fingers. Do a couple of more passes on each side to make sure the apex is right all the way. So that side is good. This side isn't yet. And we'll do the heel again. Do one more. It's a little bit hard to feel what you're doing. I'm a little bit confused because I'm not sure if I'm removing material or polishing, because it kind of feels like I'm doing both. There we are. Try to move a little bit over to this side. And it has not made any slurry yet. I don't know if it's because I haven't broken the stone in or what it could be, but what we could do is get our rust eraser, try to work the surface a little bit, see what happens. Looks like the steel is coming out. We got a little bit of slurry here as well now. I'm trying to work up a little bit, and we'll try to work on that. Let's see if we just can remember. We left the burr on this side, yeah. Oh, we gotta check the camera angle. Sorry, I gotta move you guys a little bit just to make sure I can. Sorry about that. Oh, that's a different feel. Oh, that's a different feel. Immediately. You can hear that, right? That is a different stone. Okay, let's go. 2. Got the burr. Let's try 6 passes. More strops. What you want to call it. Got it. 6 the other way. Sorry about the leaking faucet. That should do it. I'll get that fixed. Going for 3. Small, but it's there. Like we wanted to. Yep. It's on the other side. Feels good. Just do a couple more, alternating the sides. That's biting the crap out of my nail. So, time for cut test, I guess. Get some newspaper, the faucet, and let's try just to see how this edge feels. Move it down to the camera. Oh yeah, that's really good. That's wet newspaper. Well, could be better, I guess. We'll try to do, oh sorry about that. We'll try, there's a little burr left on it, and what I usually do if I'm not going to the leather strops, I'm sorry, is that I'll do a couple of edge leading strokes just to remove that metal burr. And this usually feels really scary when you do it, especially on, you can feel it's soft as well. It wants to dig in if you're not too careful. And we will try again. Yeah, that's better. Well, I would, my first impression is that's a decent edge of a couple of minutes on a 2K stone. I don't know if you noticed, but when I went at it with the rust eraser, we got some slurry going, it became a different stone at once. I had to add a little water to keep going. So the slurry ran off. I just went off or whatever. And when it disappeared, it became like a fine stone again. So how I would use this stone going forward, I would soak it. I would soak it more than I did now. For longer, I would try maybe a finer rust eraser or use an auger, I don't know, to get some slurry going. I would use that as my first step, and I would rinse off the slurry, and I would actually use this stone to finish. This is not bad. I'm very excited about this, and I'm looking forward to using it some more, testing it out, see if there is something I've missed. But so far, this might be my new medium slash finisher for my home knives. Well, not my kitchen knives. Preferably the softer steel ones. The softer steel ones. I'm sorry. As for the carbon steel and the harder knives, we'll have to see. We will get to testing them out as well. But yeah, if you want to see some other stones, just let me know. If you want to see more of these stones, if you think there's something obvious that I missed, please let me know, and I will, yeah, we'll test that as well. If I said something wrong, we'll correct that as well. But until then, have a good day.